All right, today we're diving into a really wild experiment. We're looking at a crypto-native project that's trying to do something huge, break into the real world. And the project at the center of it all? Pudgy Penguins. Yeah, an NFT collection that's trying to leap from your digital wallet to actual store shelves. And this really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Can a bunch of digital cartoon penguins actually become a global brand? I mean, it's a super bold ambition, so we're going to break down exactly how they're trying to pull this off, what's standing in their way, and, what the future could actually look like for them.
In this slide, wow, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the digital collectible world, the niche NFT space. And on the other, physical toys with logos from places like Walmart. The entire Pudgy Penguins story is about building a bridge between these two, frankly, very different worlds.
Okay, so to really get how they're even attempting to build that bridge, we got to rewind a bit and go back to the very beginning. Let's dig into the origin story. So where did this all start? Well, Pudgy Penguins began as a collection of 8,888 totally unique penguin NFTs, all living on the Ethereum blockchain. But here's the thing, thanks to a really passionate community and some killer viral marketing, they blew up. They became way more than just digital art. They turned into a symbol of a whole online culture. All right, so after that initial success, the next chapter in their story was all about expansion. See, to grow their ecosystem beyond just the folks who could afford a pricey NFT, they needed something new. They needed a token. And that's when they launched their own native token called $Pengu. Now, what's pretty interesting here is they chose to build it on the Solana blockchain. Why? Well, it's likely they wanted to tap into Solana's reputation for being super fast and cheap, making it accessible to a much wider audience. Now check this out, because the way they distributed the token is super interesting. Just look at that huge slice of the pie. Almost 26% of the entire supply was airdropped for free directly to the original NFT holders. This wasn't just a giveaway. It was a really smart move to reward their earliest believers and pull them right into this new phase of the project. So you might be asking, what does this token actually do? Well, it's not some super complex financial instrument for DeFi. Think of it more as a social and viral asset. It's a way for people who can't drop thousands on an NFT to still be part of the community. It gets them access to exclusive events and perks, and it helps fund all the brand stuff like merchandise. Okay, so we've got the NFTs, we've got the token, but how does all this connect back to that main goal of breaking into the mainstream? Well, this is where the story gets really, really ambitious. And get this number just shows the kind of cultural reach they had before they ever sold a single toy. Their GIFs and stickers have been seen over 1 billion times globally. I mean, that is just massive. It's the kind of organic, viral brand recognition that most companies would kill for, and it perfectly set the stage for their jump into the physical world. And this timeline right here shows you just how deliberate and honestly impressive their push into physical retail has been. We're not talking about small steps. We're talking toys on the shelves of frickin' Walmart and Target. We're talking high-end collectibles with a brand like Metacom Toy and licensing deals with established players like Schleich. They are literally going from our screens into our hands. And this quote really nails their entire mission. Their whole strategy is to be a bridge. They want to connect that often closed-off world of NFT collectors with the huge power of viral internet culture and, the real-world economy that we all live in every day. So, that's the grand vision. That's the ambition. But how is it actually doing? How is this strategy holding up in the crypto market, which, as we all know, can be brutally volatile? Let's take a look at the data. Okay, this chart tells a really fascinating story. You see that while the rest of the NFT market was taking a nosedive, sales volumes dropping significantly, Pudgy Penguins was actually holding strong. They managed to stay on the top 5 projects by sales volume. That points to some serious resilience and a super dedicated community, even when the broader market is getting hammered. But, they're not exactly playing on an empty field. Their path isn't clear. Other huge NFT projects are watching and they're jumping in. You've got Moonbirds with their Burb meme coin, for example, which is also driven by community hype. The fight for attention and money in this space is absolutely heating up. And look, any journey this ambitious is going to have some major roadblocks, so it's really important that we take a clear, honest look at the pretty significant risks they're facing here. So there are really 4 big hurdles ahead of them. First up, you've got the insane volatility of the token itself. Huge price swings are just part of the game. Second, the whole NFT market is in a cool-down phase, and that puts pressure on everything. Third, you've got future token unlocks, which could create a ton of selling pressure. And finally, and this is the big one, does selling a bunch of toys actually make people want to buy the token? That connection is not a guarantee.
Okay, so when you put it all together, you weigh the incredible things they've pulled off against these very real challenges. Where could this whole thing be headed? Let's game it out a bit and explore 3 possible futures for Pudgy Penguins.
This table pretty much lays out the playbook. In the best case, the optimistic scenario, they totally pull it off. They become a sustainable global brand, they bridge that gap, and they create real tangible value for token holders. Now, the neutral outcome, they stay cool, they stay culturally relevant. But that token, it never really finds its killer app. And in the worst case, the negative scenario, well, the weak market and hungry competitors just win out, and the whole project kind of loses steam.
And all of this leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? Are we watching the birth of a totally new way to build a global brand, one that starts in the digital world and conquers the real one? Or is Pudgy Penguins just another super interesting, but in the end, fleeting crypto fad? I guess only time will tell, and the next few years are going to be fascinating to watch.